While this girl was taking out some old stuff from her garage, she noticed a strange "Pilots should never say repeat" on the radio. If ATC says something and you didn't get it, the correct phrase is "say again." Repeat in military radio telephony is actually an instruction for artillery to fire again at the same target. Now realistically, in a civil aviation context, nothing would really happen, but that's why pilots should never say repeat on the radio.
Tiny Empire started a new code for free money. The code is whoops, just like this, all capitals. You submit it and you get 75K. Tiny Empire started it. Why is this cat meowing for? Cat be swimming. Don't mess with this cat. What? Incoming laser. Failed attack. Why is this cat?
I think she might also be blind.
It's gonna be impossible to get this tire to take air. Alright, you got me there. But let's try one that's more squished. Almost as big as my hand. Now the key is to make sure you lose both the bead and the rib. And then all you have to do is just pull the trigger. It's gonna be impossible to get this tire to take air. Alright, you got me there. But let's try one that's more squished. Almost as big as my hand. Now the key is to make sure you lose both the bead and the rib. And then all you have to do is just pull the trigger. It's gonna be impossible to get this tire to take air. Alright, you got me there. But let's try one that's more squished. Almost as big as my hand. Now the key is to make sure you lose both the bead and the rib. And then all you have to do is just pull the trigger. It's gonna be impossible to get this tire to take We don't have to wait 3 months for Samsung to officially announce the Galaxy S26 Ultra when we have all leaks once again keeping the tradition alive, giving us the best, most up-close, detailed look at the Galaxy S26 Ultra's design from all angles. This is Samsung's next big thing for 2026. Plus, we also have a never-before-seen display feature that could only debut on the Galaxy S26 Ultra exclusively. The curve is back. Let's have a closer look at the design. The corners are now curved even more compared to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. It almost reminds me of the look of the Galaxy S21 Ultra from a few years back. But instead of a the S25 Ultra a bit more, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, apart from a different look, there is one important reason why Samsung introduced this camera island. In case you don't know, S26 Ultra is going to be a record-breaking, thinnest Ultra phone Samsung has ever made. Despite having the same 5,000 mAh battery and stability inside, it has somehow gone thinner at a rumored 7.9mm thickness, which is definitely notably thinner than the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, because of the thinness, it was wise for Samsung to add the camera islands around these camera sensors because we have seen they can protrude quite a bit. So hopefully this is going to even things out. Now the device is said to be even lighter than before. It is expected to drop a few grams going below 210 gram level, which is again insane. All these small changes are going to add up and it's going to make the S26 Ultra feel absolutely amazing in hand. They even changed the S Pen design a little bit. They added a bit of a curve, all because they can make the phone thin and light. Now on the front we have the punch hole in the middle, so there's not going to be an under display camera once again for another generation. With that being said, the display on the S26 Ultra is absolutely going to be one of a kind. According to Ice Universe, Samsung is finally bringing the M14 OLED display with COE display deck, which in simple words means that the display is going to be brighter, thinner, and way more power efficient. Not just that, it's going to have an even better anti-reflective coating along with a new AI privacy feature which can reportedly make the display dark to the people who look at it from the sides. If Samsung can pull this technology off, it's going to look absolutely amazing on the S26 Ultra. Now speaking of the cameras, in case you don't know, these are the improvements we're looking forward to compared to last year's Galaxy S25 Ultra. We're technically getting 3 new camera upgrades. If you look at the aperture, this is going to be the best Samsung camera setup we have seen when it comes to the low light performance. We are pretty much getting upgrades to 3 sensors apart from the ultra wide angle lens, which is said to be the same. Having a larger aperture will unlock better low light performance along with better natural bokeh. And let's not forget, Samsung is fully focused on dethroning Apple when it comes to video performance, for the first time going all out when it comes to that vlogging angle thanks to Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which now has APB coded support, meaning you can shoot raw videos similar to Apple ProRes with super high quality and detail retained. If Samsung can pull this off and somehow also bring some AI magic to their cameras, especially for the video performance, it's going to be a one epic video upgrade. Hopefully all of this will offer a meaningful upgrade, especially in the video department when it comes to the Galaxy S26 Ultra's camera performance. S26 Ultra will exclusively utilize Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, but guess what? Exynos 2600 is finally making a comeback. Again, I'm not going to give this more of a hope, but it is said to be about 12% better in terms of performance compared to previous generation, along with 25% better in power efficiency. And it's also built on a 2nm process node, making it the first smartphone chip to use the 2nm process. It's set to power the Galaxy S26 Pro in some markets apart from China, US, and South Korea. Again, we don't know the specific details at the moment, but what we can expect right now is that Exynos 2600 is making a comeback with the Galaxy S26 series. So there we go, our best closest look at the Galaxy S26 Ultra's design almost 3 months before the official announcement, which is likely going to happen in January of 2026. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
今時今日，上工定義人人唔同，無論係彈性上班智慧，定係 work-life balance 智慧，上 Jobs TV update 好 profile 就自動幫我分析配對 match 上相有計，人人係上工智慧，即刻上 Jobs TV 揾工。您所想要的 MMORPG，终于在宇宙展开。來往荃灣西站同埋科學園嘅九巴43P 路線，相信大家都好少會搭佢啦，因為佢係一條繁忙時間路線嚟嘅，只係喺上午繁忙時間同埋下午繁忙時間有提供服務啦。 今次就同大家一齊試搭呢條943P 路線，睇下到底佢快唔快啦。好，首先呢，我搭嘅班次呢就係朝頭早7點32分由荃灣西站開往科學園嘅班次啦。喺荃灣西站呢度呢，都上咗好多乘客嘅喎，上咗17位嘅乘客啦。而我亦都有留意到啊，喺呢17位乘客入邊呢，其實好多呢都係啲學生嚟嘅，着住校服嘅喎。唔通有好多學生要跨區去沙田嗰邊去返學？其實唔係嘅。其實呢一批學生相信呢都會喺石圍角嗰邊去落車嘅。其實好多喺石圍角一帶返學嘅學生呢，都會搭43X 或者43P 號線去返學嘅。點解啊？因為呢條路線夠快啦。佢由荃灣西站開出，直接經翻大河道上翻石圍角啦。其實好快就會到啦。雖然呢條路線去石圍角好快，但有一個缺點就係車費比較貴啦。因為佢去石圍角係冇分段收費嘅，你係需要付出全程嘅車費，即係10個4嘅車費啦。就相對上會比其他田區嘅路線咧係會貴啲嘅。如果唔想俾咁多錢嘅話咧，你就要早啲起身啊，用多啲時間去搭九巴嘅另一條路線30號線啦。咁嗰一條路線去石圍角方面咧，相對上行車時間會長翻少少嘅，因為佢係行沙咀道啦，去到大窩口嗰邊再上翻石圍角嘅。而即使有一啲比較平價嘅選擇之下咧，其實都有唔少嘅學生咧係會繼續搭43X 或者43P 呢啲比較貴價啲嘅路線啦。可能而家啲學生都比較有錢少少啦，都唔介意嗰幾蚊啊。好啦，我哋呢條路線呢，由荃灣西站開出之後呢，就會一路行大河道啦。下一個站呢，其實就係大河道噶啦。我哋最終呢，喺離開咗總站8分鐘後啦，上午7點40分抵達大河道嘅巴士站，喺呢度上咗25位乘客，總客量去到42位嘅乘客啦。而喺呢25位乘客入邊呢，都有一部分呢都係學生嚟㗎，又係着住校服啦，估計都係去石圍角嗰邊去返學嘅。好啦，然後我哋繼續沿住大河道去行走啦，然之後再喺呢一個位呢，係右轉入去青山公路啦。我哋最終呢，喺2分鐘後，上午7點42分抵達中安街嘅巴士站啦。喺呢個巴士站上咗28位乘客，落咗1位乘客，而家總客量已經去到70位嘅乘客。3個站已經上到70個乘客，所以非常之滿客啦。咁我哋呢架巴士呢，就繼續沿住青山公路去行走啦，左轉翻去西樓角道，之後呢，就右轉翻去惠荃路啦。最終呢，就會喺2分鐘後啦，上午7點40
車下嘅，有陣時候咧都會幾塞下嘅。我哋即管睇下我哋今次會唔會遇到塞車啦。我哋最終咧喺上午8:06咧就上到去大學站呢個迴旋處咧，就準備轉翻入去大學站入邊啦。事實上呢一個位咧都的確幾多車下嘅，咁我哋咧開始要排隊咁樣入去大學站啦。咁因為其實好多人咧都會搭的士或者係自己揸車啊，車自己嘅屋企人去到大學站度轉車啦。咁所以呢一個位好多車要喺度上落客啊，好多車要嚟呢一個位啊，令到呢一個位係比較擠塞少少啦。最終咧都喺大學站呢度咧，其實差唔多塞咗5分鐘咧先落到客啦嚇。最後咧，我哋喺上午8:11咧抵達大學站嘅巴士站，喺呢度咧落咗33位嘅乘客啦。哇！原來都落到咁多乘客嘅喎，原來咁多人咧由荃灣一帶去到大學站呢一度。見到呢一個巴士站咁多乘客落車，就證明呢一條巴士路線喺2020年嗰個改動其實做得好啱嘅，因為嗰一個改動就係加咗大學站嘅巴士站，原來係咁有需求嘅喎，喺度落咗33位乘客，係全條線落得最多客嘅地方啦。而我哋統計翻時間啦，假設你由荃灣西站出發啦，其實只需要用39分鐘就可以抵達大學站啦。喺時間上幾快下啦，1個鐘都唔使係咪啊？又全程有位坐，舒舒服服，唔錯唔錯。好啦，我哋而家離開咗大學站之後咧，出翻去嗰段路咧都比較長途啲嘅。我哋之後咧就可以繼續向住科學園嘅方向出發啦。然後我哋最終咧係3分鐘後，上午8:14抵達馬料水公眾碼頭巴士站，冇任何乘客上落。巴士繼續沿住科學園路去行駛，再喺1分鐘後，上午8:15抵達水上活動中心，冇任何乘客上落。然後同樣地喺上午8:15抵達香港生物科技研究院，喺呢個站咧落咗2位嘅乘客嘅。然後我哋呢架巴士繼續沿住科學沿路去行走啦，一直去到前面迴旋處咧就轉咗進入科技大埔西啦。最終咧再喺1分鐘後，上午8:16抵達香港科學園巴士站，喺呢度咧落咗10位嘅乘客嘅。而喺呢一度落完客之後咧，我哋呢架巴士係會繼續咧駛往最終咧我哋3點8:18抵達科學園3期嘅巴士站，落咗10位乘客。呢個站咧已經係最後站㗎啦。睇翻呢一個車程啦，全程行車時間46分鐘，相當之快，客量達到100位乘客，正常上咗啦。我哋睇翻而家巴士由最多人上車嘅巴士站中安街，去到最多人落車嘅巴士站大學站，幾耐嘅時間咧？其實只需要19分鐘嘅時間，所以1個鐘已經可以由荃灣核心位置去到大學站啦。如果係由荃灣嘅中安街去到科學園嘅巴士站，其實都只需要35分鐘左右啦。講真，你喺荃灣出發搭呢條路線去大學站或者科學園一帶，分分鐘咧快過一啲咧住喺沙田嘅人。而呢條路線嘅客源，講緊喺朝頭早7:32呢個班次咧，第一部分就係荃灣石圍港嘅學生客啦，之後就係大學站嘅客人啦，最後就係科學園嘅客人啦。3批嘅客源其實分佈都幾平均下嘅，因為喺石圍港嗰度咧就落咗33位乘客啦，大學站
summary of the mistakes. Hamilton's former team expressed its concerns on social media, saying, "Our thoughts are with you, Lewis. Roscoe brought so much joy to those who met him, and he'll always be a part of your Powerball family." Very. Hamilton's current team shared the sympathies. "So sorry for your loss, Lewis. Oscar was an amazing dog, and he will never be forgotten." Fort McCran says, Hamilton's original Formula One team posts a message saying, "Have lost with you, Lewis. Oscar was the star of the paddock and will be missed." While reporting, the team conveyed its condolences, saying, "We're sorry for your loss, Lewis."
It's been amazing to see the support from so many people around the world, and just to see how much Roscoe, like overwhelming to see how much Roscoe touched people and meant to people, and the kind messages that I've received have been really uplifting. So I'm really grateful for that. And anyone out there that knows what it's like to lose a pet, you know how painful it is. I read somewhere that grief is the last act of love, I think, and I'm definitely feeling that. It's been amazing to see the
Lewis Hamilton has suffered another heartbreaking loss. His 12-year-old bulldog Roscoe, who had been his companion for over a decade, was put to sleep after battling pneumonia. Roscoe was revived once after his heart stopped, but was later placed in a coma, leading Hamilton to make the painful decision. Hamilton shared a touching video on Instagram with the text "Roscoe forever," and on X wrote he's with Coco now, honouring Roscoe's sister who passed in 2020.
Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time Formula One world champion, is asking fans for prayers.
F1 star Lewis Hamilton is mourning the loss of his beloved English bulldog, Roscoe, who passed away after a battle with pneumonia. Roscoe, a fan favorite, was on a vegan diet, a choice now raising concerns among vets. Experts warn dogs may not thrive without meat, urging owners to consult professionals before switching pets to plant-based food.
Lewis Hamilton's beloved bulldog Roscoe has tragically passed away after battling pneumonia.
Why settle for bog standard takeaways? Go premium. Top-notch restaurants, wider delivery coverage, dedicated customer service. Enjoy 40% off key to premium restaurants and the signature box.
Lewis Hamilton is deeply mourning the loss of his beloved bulldog, Roscoe, who passed away at the age of 12. Roscoe died on Sunday night after a fierce battle with pneumonia, having been in a coma for several days. Hamilton shared the heartbreaking news on social media, describing the decision to say goodbye to Roscoe as the most difficult of his life. The dog passed away in Hamilton's arms after 4 days on life support. Roscoe was a well-known figure in the Formula One paddock and had a large following on Instagram, where his account showcased his life with Hamilton, spreading warmth and joy over the years alongside the 7-time F1 world champion. Roscoe captured the hearts of the F1 community, earning sympathy from fans and fellow drivers alike. Hamilton even skipped an F1 tire test for Ferrari the previous week to be by Roscoe's side as his condition worsened. The Formula One community poured out support for Hamilton, with teammates and other drivers expressing their condolences over the loss. Roscoe had been a significant part of Hamilton's life since being adopted in 2013, known as a loyal companion who accompanied the driver to numerous race events. On the night of Sunday, the 28th of September, 2025, the Formula One world lost one of its most cherished figures, Roscoe, Lewis Hamilton's beloved bulldog. After a 4-day struggle with pneumonia, the 12-year-old dog took his final breath in the arms of the 7-time world champion. Hamilton shared the devastating news on social media with heartfelt words, stating that letting Roscoe go was the hardest decision he had ever made. Roscoe was more than just a pet. He was a true friend who had been by Hamilton's side for nearly a decade, becoming part of the family and a beloved figure in the racing world through his Instagram account, which boasted millions of followers. Since Hamilton adopted him in 2013, Roscoe's presence in the F1 paddock had become a familiar sight, his cheerful demeanor bringing light to the high-pressure world of racing. When Roscoe fell ill, Hamilton prioritized his health above all else. The week before Roscoe's passing, Hamilton withdrew from a Pirelli tire test with Ferrari at Mugello to stay with his ailing companion. This decision underscored how deeply Roscoe mattered to Hamilton, even above the demands of his racing career. Fellow drivers and teams offered their full support during this difficult time. On the 26th of September, Hamilton announced that Roscoe had been hospitalized with severe pneumonia, struggling to breathe. The dog fell into a coma and required intensive care, connected to life support. For 4 days, Roscoe fought with all his strength. But as his condition deteriorated, Hamilton made the heart-wrenching decision to end his suffering through euthanasia. Hamilton shared touching photos of his final moments with Roscoe on social media, revealing the depth of his love and care for his beloved dog.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Would you like coffee? Where's the dog? Dog.
Sometimes the silence guides the mind, so move to a place so far away. The goosebumps start to raise the minute that my left hand meets your waist. And then I watch your face, put my finger on your dancing.
$5 million bonus if he can win the race. He is our in-race reporter. There he is in the number 77. Let's talk to him, Scott.
Dan Weldon, Scott Goodyear up in the ABC booth. Do you have us?
I've got you, Scott.
Big question everybody wants to know, Dan, today is, can you win and take home the $5 million bonus?
Honestly, Scott, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think that I could win. Certainly, I'm not underestimating the talent of the other drivers in the field. I think IndyCar's got a phenomenal field right now. I want to thank GoDaddy and Verizon for this opportunity. And let me tell you, the Sam Schmidt Motorsports team, Brian Herder Autosport guys have been working hard on this Bowers and Wilkins at Magnolia car with William Rast, Curb and Big Machine Records. So just so you know, Big Machine Records look after Taylor Swift. She's big right now. I've got to try and impress them a lot.
And the speeds we have here, 222 miles an hour. I mean, just fantastic speeds here today. You expect that in the race?
Absolutely. I think they'll be a little bit faster, but this is going to be a spectacle. This is a great way to go out for the IndyCar Series in 2011. We know we've got the new cars and multiple engine manufacturers coming for 2012. So we're excited and grateful to Honda for sponsoring this particular race.
Good luck today, Dan.
There's our starting field across the top.
From a heartbreaking event that turned into motivation to drivers breaking down in tears. These are the most emotional moments in Formula One. First is one of those moments that just gave us all goosebumps. The 2019 Belgian GP was horrific.
What would be a good race in your book today?
At least back to the top 8, and if we can, maybe more.
Some reverse grid magic maybe to come on Sunday. Good luck, Antoine Hubert.
In just the second lap on Saturday's F2 race, with Nick de Vries leading, Giuliano Alessi, who was in 10th, crashed into the barriers going through Eau Rouge.
It's a more interesting. Oh, there's a big crash there. There's a car who lost it. Car has lost it on the way in. Oh no. Oh, that's a horrible accident. That is a horrible accident involving the Sauber Junior team.
In such a fast section, and with the cars so close together, disaster was inevitable. With such a bad crash and so many cars involved, the medics showed up right away. French driver Antoine Hubert and Ecuadorian Juan Manuel Correa, whose cars were severely damaged, were taken out and rushed to the circuit's medical center. While doctors stabilized Correa, who suffered a spinal injury and fractured legs, Hubert was fighting with everything he had. But just over an hour later, I couldn't believe it. We were devastated. At 6:35 p.m. on August 31st, 2019, at just 22 years of age, Antoine Hubert left us for a better place.
Having someone close to you, a fellow driver, competitor, and a friend as well, die in the same crash as you, It just makes you, I guess, realize life is short. At any moment, things can go wrong.
Rest in peace, man. It was a stark reminder of just how dangerous the sport can be. Hubert was part of the Renault Academy, and in his very first season in F2, had already showed incredible talent with 2 impressive wins. He was very popular in the paddock and a close friend of F1 drivers like Leclerc and Gasly. It was an incredibly tough weekend for everyone, and honestly, I don't even know how the drivers managed to find the strength to keep going after what had just happened. And while on Sunday, all drivers paid a tribute to Hubert and his family, there was no choice but to race.
Welcome along to Spa-Francorchamps. Formula One is back after its summer break, and we head into qualifying for round 13 of the 21 races in 2019, the 64th World Championship Belgium Grand Prix.
Leclerc, who had just grabbed his 3rd pole with Ferrari, a whole 7/10 quicker than Vettel in 2nd, couldn't stop thinking about Hubert, but somehow channeled his grief into pure focus and gave it his all.
And it's lights out, away we go. Great start from Albon.
the Monegasque stayed in P1 the whole race and had to fend off the faster Hamilton in the final laps.
Traffic, the gap is now down to 1.7 seconds, and the longer these corners carry on, the more the Mercedes will be gaining on that Ferrari of Charles Leclerc.
Keeping the pace while taking care of his tyres to perfection. Yet, lap after lap, Hamilton was closing the gap.
Hamilton, now through the middle sector, is throwing down an epic challenge.
They all want Hamilton's crown, but he's not going to be easily beaten, is he? He never gives up.
Charles Leclerc, in his first season at Ferrari, has this lap to survive to get win number 1. Ferrari came here with the advantage on paper. Charles Leclerc can now see the checkered flag, and for the first time ever, Charles Leclerc wins a Formula 1 Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc wins the Belgian Grand Prix.
First victory in F1. This one is for Antoine. Feels good, but yeah, difficult to enjoy on a weekend like this.
He did it for his friend. He achieved it for himself.
Yeah, on one hand, I've got a dream since being a child that has been realized. On the other hand, it has been a very difficult weekend since yesterday. We have lost a friend, first of all, but yeah, it's very difficult in this condition, in these situations. So yeah, I would like to dedicate my first win to him. We have grown up together. My first ever race, I've done it with Antoine when we were younger. There was Esteban, Pierre, and yeah, it's just a shame what happened yesterday. So I can't enjoy fully my first victory, but it will definitely be a memory I will keep forever.
But that wasn't all. The next week, Leclerc showed once again why he's known as Il Predestinato. Like he had some kind of divine inspiration. Leclerc was the fastest all weekend, once again.
Charles Leclerc has coped brilliantly. He won in Spa. He wins in Monza. Charles Leclerc is the winner of the 2019 Italian Grand Prix.
He achieved his second F1 win in a row and Ferrari's first victory at Monza since 2010, just a week after the heartbreaking loss of Hubert. And if Leclerc could barely hold back on his tears, the next driver simply couldn't handle the excitement. The 2012 season was a roller coaster of emotions and one of the most epic of all time. First off, it was one of the most legendary grids we've seen, with 6 world champions: Schumacher, Raikkonen, Alonso, Hamilton, Vettel and Button. And the competition between teams was incredibly tight. Just to give you an idea, there were 7 different winners in the first 7 races. And yes, one of them was the one and only Aston Maldonado.
Aston Maldonado wins in Spain. It's the first Williams victory since Brazil 2004.
It was a season you simply couldn't miss. Basically, Red Bull, McLaren and Alonso's Ferrari, yes, he was carrying that team by himself, were neck and neck in the first half. With just 9 points between leader Hamilton and Webber in 4th, they hit the 8th race at the Valencia Street circuit. It was almost guaranteed that one of the drivers would win his second race this weekend. And man, did he do it in style. On Saturday, Vettel and Hamilton were in 1st and 2nd, while Alonso was stuck in 11th, pretty much killing the Spaniard's chances, given how narrow the track was. But
it's lights out and away we go. It's a decent start from Sebastian Vettel and for Lewis Hamilton. Grosjean 3rd place for Lotus, then Maldonado.
As Vettel pulled ahead, Hamilton's race started to get messy. But where is Alonso when all this is going on? Well, by lap 12, he's up to 7th place. And even though the track is incredibly tight, he keeps pulling off beautiful overtake after beautiful overtake and somehow makes his way up to 3rd place, right behind Grosjean and Vettel. After a safety car, he pulls this off to grab 2nd place.
Vettel has managed to keep his lead. Grosjean just in front of Alonso, who pulls out alongside. He's going to try and go around the outside, and they did touch. But Alonso has squeezed his way through into 2nd place. One for the brave, that one, and Alonso the bravest of them.
And just when things couldn't get any better for the Spaniard, this happens.
And Vettel's got a major problem. Fernando Alonso leads. Vettel could be out of this race. He is out of this race. Oh, Adrian Newey with his head in his hands. Spain with their hands in the air.
Everything went to perfection for Alonso, with a mix of luck and his incredible talent. He puts on a show to remember. He crosses the finish line in 1st in front of his home crowd, who simply can't believe what had just happened.
In front of his adoring Spanish fans, can now see the checkered flag and comes home to win the Grand Prix of Europe. It's not 8 different winners in 8 races. It's Fernando
even shows up late to the podium because he was too busy celebrating with them and the marshals. But it was on the podium where the emotions really poured out. This win put him at the top of the championship. And the podium, well, with Raikkonen and Schumacher there, I'd say it's got to be one of the most iconic ever. Pretty much anything Schumi is part of becomes iconic. Flashback to the Italian GP in the year 2000. Just to give you some context, that season kicked off Schumacher and Ferrari's dominance in F1 for the next 5 years. Of course, Schumacher broke all kinds of records and ended up being the most successful driver ever with his 7 world titles. But it wasn't always that easy.
Mika, and there's but the back marker's in the way. Can he do it? Yes, he's done it. A brilliant move there, either side of Zonta, and Hakkinen brilliantly takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Mika Hakkinen kept him on his toes right up until the end of that season, even leading the standings for quite a while. But at Monza, Schumacher nailed the perfect weekend. He took pole and won in front of the Tifosi, closing the gap to Hakkinen to just 2 points. A Ferrari win at home is always huge. Just look at these fans. But that wasn't all. After this incredible win, the drivers went to do the post-race interviews. And while everyone expected the 2-time world champion to be joyful about his win, no one expected what had happened next.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is your 41st victory, which puts you equal second all-time with Ayrton Senna. Do those records mean a lot to you?
Yes, it does mean a lot to me. Sorry.
Thanks, Michael.
The thrill of surpassing your idol. Many more achievements would follow, but few as special as this one. Senna wasn't just one of Schumacher's biggest idols. The German actually got to race against him in the 90s during his early years in F1. They had a lot of moments together, both on and off the track. There were so many feelings and memories going through Schumacher's head at that moment, and beating Senna was, as you can see, something he just simply couldn't put into words. And credits to Hakkinen for consoling him, while his brother Ralph didn't know where to hide. But if we're talking records, Hamilton's definitely the guy to ask. With Mercedes, Hamilton became the most successful driver ever, breaking a bunch of Schumacher's records and matching his titles. And of course, Hamilton wants to follow Schumacher's footsteps by moving to Ferrari next year. Very excited to see how that plays out, but for now he's stuck with Mercedes. After losing the championship to Verstappen in 2021, 22 and 23, the only years in his whole F1 career where he hasn't won a single race. And that's since his debut back in 2007. Insane. And to make things worse, in 2022, he was beaten by teammate Russell. And although Hamilton beat him in 2023, he was obviously nowhere near the Red Bulls. And with the team putting more focus on Russell for the future, it's no wonder he wants out.
You can be here for like 20 more years, 30 more years. I can't.
Well, who says that?
This is precious years for me.
But I won't lie to you, Ferrari hasn't been any better. So is it really the right call?
The board of Lewis at Ferrari, when I read overall, it wouldn't suit him.
Anyway, 2024 is Hamilton's chance to say goodbye to the team he's been with for over 10 years. With the grid tighter than ever, he definitely didn't want to miss the chance to go out on top. And what better way to do it at home, right? At Silverstone, Mercedes kicked things off perfectly with a 1-2 in qualifying. It was Mercedes' first 1-2 since who knows when. On Sunday, things start well for both of them, and Hamilton gets ahead of Russell. But then...
I can see a big rain shower. No, we've got that on the radar.
We expected the rain to come from that direction, so it might be coming across the circuit now. Look at the spray coming off.
Yeah, they're on slick still.
So Norris car behind.
Look how close Lando Norris is to Lewis Hamilton. He's done it! Lando Norris now takes the lead of the British Grand Prix.
And while Norris takes the lead, Piastri loses a bunch of time by sticking with the wrong tyres, letting Hamilton back up to second place. As the track dries out, Hamilton takes a chance by pitting early. And well, here's what goes down.
And Hamilton's just going out of the club corner and heading on down past the start-finish straight. He's going past us, and Lewis Hamilton, I think, is going to be in front as they come out. Yes, there's Hamilton. Hamilton comes out in front of Lando Norris, and the pit stop that Mercedes chose was perfect from that point of view. It has switched the two leaders around, and it's multiple British Grand Prix winner Lewis Hamilton, who is now back in front.
A perfect strategy and flawless driving.
He is about to head for victory as he comes into the final corners here at Silverstone. The crowds are going crazy. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. Absolutely brilliant.
945 days. That's how long it had been since his last win. And finally, his redemption came. Right at home, with the crowd going absolutely crazy.
Get in there, Lewis! You're the man! You're the man! Oh, mate, I have been waiting for this. Jeez.
Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot. It means a lot to get this one. A big thank you to all the fans here. Love you guys.
Yes, mate.
We will prevail. We never give up. And what a sign-off for our joint trajectory here on the British Grand Prix. We couldn't wish for anything better.
He also set a record for the most wins at a single track. Plus, no one's ever won a race after their 300th start or 17 years after their first win. It was just pure history. After getting out of the car, he couldn't hold back the tears. And a lot of people didn't think he'd win another race. Not even Hamilton himself. Hamilton himself.
Yeah, that's so proud. I think, it's been since 2021. I just, every day getting up, trying to fight, to train, to put my mind to the task and work as hard as I can with this amazing team. I mean, there's definitely been days between 2021 and here where I didn't feel like I was good enough or whether I was going to get back to where I am today. But the important thing is I had great people around me continuing to support me, my team, every time I turn up, and see them putting in the effort that really encouraged me to do the same thing. And otherwise, my fans, when I see them around the world, they have been so supportive. So,
like him or not, he's one of the greatest to ever race. And the goosebumps from him pushing through for 3 years and finally winning another race, absolutely beautiful. And if Hamilton's win at Silverstone was a movie, the inspiration would definitely have come from this next moment. It's 1991, and we're in Brazil at Interlagos. Unlike Hamilton, Ayrton Senna came to his home race that season as a 2-time world champ, but hadn't ever won a race here. People basically said he had a home curse, kind of like Leclerc's Monaco jinx for years. But that season, Senna was determined to finally break it. He grabbed pole and led most of the race, with Mansell right behind him until the Englishman got a puncture.
For the second time in 2 races, Nigel Mansell retires in the Williams.
With a 30-second lead over Riccardo Patrese, it looked like he was definitely going to win. But then, with 10 laps to go and the rain about to start, he began having gearbox issues. As he tried to deal with the problems, with 7 laps to go, his gearbox suddenly breaks down, and he could only drive in 6th gear. No more shifting. And while Patrese was closing in rapidly, Senna did everything he could to lose as little time as possible, taking every risk he could to stay in the lead. On the last lap, with just 4 seconds between him and Patrese, and the rain getting heavier and heavier, we were all on the edge of our seats. Was he actually going to pull this off?
I look through and I see Senna waving. Look at him, he's saying stop the race, stop the race. But it's too late, Ayrton, you're on the last lap. You can lose this race.
The Brazilian didn't give up, and against all odds, crossed the finish line in first.
Yes, Ayrton Senna achieves his ambition to win the Brazilian Grand Prix, but another lap or 2 and I think he would not have done so. But ifs don't matter. Senna has won. Vencedor, winner, Ayrton Senna in Brazil. This is what he's been working for all his career, and he's now achieved it.
But right after finishing, this happened. Shoulder cramps and neck strains. He put in such insane efforts. He was completely exhausted. He could barely even lift the trophy. It was tough, but he finally broke the curse. Neither the crowd nor he could contain the emotion over what just happened.
I only returned to reality when I saw the finish line. Then I felt happy to be alive, to be in Interlagos, in my homeland, and with my happy compatriots. It wasn't the greatest victory of my life, but one where I gave everything I had. If this is the price I had to pay to win in Brazil, it was cheap. Thank you.
And yes, that win thrilled everyone. Even the rest of the season wasn't all that exciting. But you know which season really had it all?
Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button, Lewis Hamilton, Mark Webber, Sebastian Vettel wins for the first time in 2010.
Red Bull, McLaren, and again Alonso's Ferrari were neck and neck all year. The result? Well, there were 6 different leaders during the season, and by the last race in Abu Dhabi, 4 drivers still had a shot at winning, something that had never happened before. Alonso and Webber were the 2 favourites, with Vettel having a good shot too. And Hamilton wasn't really in the contenders, but theoretically it was possible. In qualifying, Vettel took pole, with Hamilton 2nd, Alonso 3rd, and Webber 5th. Even though that would have been enough for Alonso to win, things changed rapidly during the race.
And we wait for those lights. It's been the longest season, the closest season. We have 4 contenders. Who will be champion today? As we leave the grid in Abu Dhabi, Vettel moves forward. Alonso comes through. Button's got the jump. Alonso down into 4th. Hamilton goes close, but Vettel still leads.
Down into the turn 5, we've got 2 Mercedes side by side, and they make contact. Michael Schumacher round. Will he?
Oh, the big smash there. It's Lewis. He's gone straight into him as well. That surely will have to be the safety car, won't it? Michael Schumacher's races over Lewis here as well.
During that safety car, drivers like Petrov and Rosberg decided to pit. It was super early, but they put on hard tyres and hoped to make it through the end. And while Vettel was still in 1st, Hamilton 2nd, and Alonso 4th, Webber decided to pit on lap 12 because of grip issues. Ferrari had to decide, cover Webber's stop or wait longer to see how the soft tyres would hold up. And well, this is where the Ferrari strategy memes really started to take life. Alonso pitted a couple of laps after Webber. He came out ahead, but Ferrari didn't think about the drivers who had pitted earlier. Classic Ferrari. So he ended up stuck behind Petrov. And the worst part, the Ferrari was a whole lot slower than the Renault on the straights, which meant this.
See you're doing your best, but really it's critical to pass it. I know you're doing your best. Use the best of your talent. We know how big it is. Use it.
Vettel, on the other hand, nailed it by pitting later and skipping all traffic. Honestly, it was like Red Bull threw Webber under the bus, and Alonso just walked right into the trap. The ending was straight out of a movie, with a finish no one had expected.
And now Sebastian Vettel wins in Abu Dhabi to be Drivers' Champion for 2010. It's a double for Red Bull.
Don't count on it just yet until everybody goes over the line. The 2 McLaren's line is Stern and Hamilton from Button. They're not jumping up and down yet. They know what happened in Brazil in 2008.
Let's see if they're going to make it. Let's see if they're going to make it. There's Alonso harrying Petrov, isn't it? He's been there all the time. There's the checkered flag. Alonso going for it. And they've done it. They will celebrate. Du bist Weltmeister. Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion. The world champion. Well done, enjoy it. You are the man. Oh, thank you, boys.
The youngest world champion ever. And the wildest part, he never led that championship until the very last day. After years of proving he had what it took, he finally snagged his well-deserved title, while Webber and Alonso were left stunned by what just went down.
Sebastian, you've only led this world championship once this season. That's today.
I'm a bit speechless, to be honest. I don't know what you're supposed to say in this moment. It has been...
Three crazy clauses in Hamilton's contract with Ferrari. Hamilton made history by joining the legendary team. Although leaving Mercedes was not an easy decision for him, we are sure that the absolutely record-breaking sum offered by the Italian team played a major role. Hamilton's Ferrari contract reportedly sets...
I met him when I was 13, so when I went to McLaren when I was 13 years old, he came to open the factory up, and so I was sitting in my go-kart. He knelt down and asked me what I wanted to do, what my dreams were, and told him one day I wanted to be Formula 1 world champion. So then all the way down the line, I'm at the palace, and you have to take these certain steps to get to the prince. You like take 3 steps, turn 90 degrees, take another 4 steps, and then turn left out, 2 steps, and then take the knee. I took the knee, and I was very nervous because you feel like the sword might be very sharp or something. Yeah. But when I go back up, he's like, you've come a long way. I met him when I...
By continually asking how, we're helping to develop a lower carbon fuel alternative that one day could be used on the road.
2008 Formula One World Championship will be decided here, right here.
今日我哋就嚟挑戰一去晒18區。嗱。
The 2008 Formula One World Championship will be decided here, right now. Massa on the left, Trulli on the right. Look out for Hamilton on the pit wall side. It's a cautious getaway from Hamilton. He's running down. Raikkonen is in front of him, and you can see that Alonso has not been able to make ground on him. Vettel isn't going to take any chances. Kovalainen nursemates his teammate through, and then shuts the door on Vettel. And Hamilton is safely through turn one. Massa is away and clear, and we've got an accident back, and that's not David Coulthard, is it surely? Safety car deployed. Here's the view from Coulthard's onboard camera.
Coulthard then getting a fair old shove at the back by the looks of it. Well, that's tragic. I've never seen a driver so warmly bid farewell in Formula One, and Coulthard only made the first corner.
It's not the way he wanted it all to end. Safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. Massa, Trulli, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Vettel, Alonso, Kovalainen, Bourdais, Glock, Webber as they stream across the line. Massa is scampering away at the front. His lead now is 2 seconds. Lewis Hamilton is comfortable to run in 4th place. If he finishes the Grand Prix there, no matter what Massa does, Hamilton would be world champion. Into the pits comes the race leader, Felipe Massa, one of the 2 title contenders, to go onto the dry tyre. He needs to win this race. He has to win this race. But Trulli, Raikkonen and Hamilton have gone through to do another lap. Into the pits then come the remaining leading trio, Trulli, Raikkonen and Hamilton.
Some front wing adjustment ready for the dry tyres, and away he goes.
So back out they come. It looks like they're behind Alonso now, though. Fernando Alonso in the Renault has got in front of them. And where has that put Lewis Hamilton in the pecking order? He's behind Vettel. He's behind Alonso as well. He's lost.
Fisichella. I believe he's behind Fisichella, who was the first man to pit to put the dry tyres on. Disaster at the moment for Lewis Hamilton. Oh, look at this. And this is Hamilton taking the Toyota. There's
Trulli's passed.
Yeah, he's passed Trulli, but now he's got to keep it all pointing in the right direction. Trulli can't keep it together. He dropped it in the middle of turn 3. Glock and Bourdais passing. Trulli struggling in these conditions. It's released Hamilton. Lewis picking up a very, very good slipstream this time. He's going to have to get right alongside him, just hold him out. Look, because it's so slippery off the racing line. He's got to be sure that he can slow it down when he gets there. And he can just. Now he's got wet tyres. Now he's got to be careful in turn 2 and turn 3. And now I think he's got the job done.
What a sublime overtake by Lewis Hamilton. He took a big chance there. You could see how wet it was down the inside. So Ferrari are ready for Felipe Massa. Into the pit lane he comes. He has a 7-second lead at this stage of the game over second place man Fernando Alonso. 21 seconds over Lewis Hamilton.
And look at that, absolutely four-wheel drifting.
架車都比之前嘅比賽都要完美，令我可以推得盡啲。我覺得我哋嘅設定令我哋更上一層樓。
我哋逐場嚟啦。自從上站馬賽拜疆站之後，大家見到麥拿倫弱點暴露，連全季最穩定嘅車手奧斯卡皮一船上場連續自爆，不停犯錯。另一邊上，韋斯塔本呢兩場氣勢如虹，連贏2場。據報因為近嚟紅牛嘅更新有效，有唔少人都話韋少有機會重返爭標行列。咁我哋 F1 9 Up 今日就同大家睇下呢幾場紅牛賽車嘅更新，再分析成個局勢，睇下韋少達到咩成績先可以後上衛冕。加入車手車隊人員嘅講法，同大家分析後上奪冠嘅機會。呢個 channel 主要係分享 F1 嘅資訊，會同你逐格睇翻，分析成個 F1 週末嘅嗰個重要事項，用車手車隊人員嘅訪問內容去同各位一齊解構呢個體育運動。如果你想睇多啲 F1 嘅策略同埋技術，知道場比賽入邊直播鏡頭冇交代嘅事，咁你 subscribe 我哋呢個 channel， 再撳個鐘仔搶先睇 like 呢條片 share 俾睇 F1 嘅朋友，仲有在 comment， 你哋嘅支持係我製作影片嘅動力。事不宜遲，咁啊 let's go！Verstappen 喺呢兩場表現出色，已經連續2場奪得冠軍，而且同季初嘅2場比賽唔同。第3場日本站，韋少用咗個細尾翼排位，加上以佢嘅實力可以揸進部車，拎到頭位之後，可以喺比賽入邊守足一場，贏得冠軍。所以我哋睇下呢幅圖就係日本站個車手之間嘅比賽圈速，可以見到韋少同 Lando 基本上速度係一樣嘅。今日日本站嘅 gap 圖，成場比賽都保持2秒內嘅距離，可以睇到呢部紅牛當時實力唔夠麥拿倫。喺第7場嘅 Imola，就因 PS 起步太過保守， 住整羅素，開咗道門俾阿 Max。而呢場我哋睇翻 race pace 啦，韋少快第2名衝線嘅 Lewis 0.26% 都叫做明顯嘅差距。但係呢場比賽本身就好多壞車，多次出咗安全車同埋虛擬安全車，出嚟嘅數據未必100% 反映賽車實力。咁跟住再下一場嘅摩納哥玩塞車霸位就唔計啦。再下一場嘅雙下站本身韋少開局唔錯，但係因為安全車嘅時候車隊換錯白胎，令到佢重開嘅時候勁慢，更加疑似因為燥底撞羅素被罰10秒，令到佢最終第10名完賽。不過呢場車隊雖然換錯胎，但係講 race pace 嚟講咧都係唔錯，即係慢0.1%。不過之後嘅比賽就冇乜贏車嘅機會，比賽速度亦都明顯同麥蘭倫有分野。輸得最金嘅就係英國站，因為當日銀石落雨，又細尾嘅韋少多次出意外。最終慢過嗰場冠軍 Lando Norris 成56.781秒排第5。而去到暑假之後嘅 Monza 同埋阿塞拜疆，韋少喺呢2場比賽嘅比賽速度都明顯贏過對手。喺意大利站 Monza 快0.3%，咁喺上場阿塞拜疆站快過後邊第5名上到第2嘅羅素0.3%。一場比賽個半鐘嚟計，慢0.3% 就等於16.2秒。再加上呢幾站紅牛一直都對賽車各部件有小改，再加上本身領先總成績嘅 Oscar Piastri 一向穩定發揮嘅佢，喺上站阿塞拜疆顯現出崩潰嘅跡象，因為壓力多次犯錯。同時佢隊友 Lando Norris 講起穩定性就呢個仲差啲。同時麥蘭倫遇到入站換胎嘅問題，2站出現咗大鑊嘢，先後知後覺要改善。明顯意大利站之後冇了解到換胎問題嘅原因，咁可能因為冇問啦，或者冇考慮到 wheel 跟手足嘅 feedback， 所以就冇及時針對性作出改善，導致問題持續。呢啲絕對唔係一隊冠軍車隊應有嘅表現嚟。以上咁多個因素加埋，令我哋見到麥蘭倫嘅降，紅牛嘅升，令人覺得今季多次人定勝車，以實力話俾大家聽，佢仲係世界冠軍車手嘅維斯塔本喺